I'm Allie. I came out after 20 years of marriage and I have 3 kids.
I'm Melisa and I have 2 kids and I came out at 37 after an 11-year marriage.
This podcast is about coming out later and the struggles and victories that come with it.
When coming out feels like the end of the world, but it's really just the beginning.
This is the Lesbian Chronicles. Welcome to the Lesbian Chronicles, where we are face to face and I'm not having to do this alone.
It's so much better than talking to yourself, right?
Oh my God. I tried to get like multiple people to help me, including when I got really desperate. I literally was like begging Maria to just be a co-host. Just because it's like easier to talk about an email if you've got someone else sitting there.
Yeah, to have some like reaction.
Yeah. And she was just like, no, like I don't enjoy it. I don't want to do it. Stop asking me. And then at one point she was like, I'll be your last resort. And then I was like, okay, like you're my last resort.
This is it.
Like, no.
Oh my God.
So anyway,
well, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you did great. It was awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
We were on opposite, coasts, so lining up times, and we spent a huge portion of the trip in the car and with really crappy cell service.
Tell me about it. Yeah.
I cannot believe how bad my service was out there. Like,
who do you have?
Verizon, and I hate them.
Okay, so that's so interesting because Maria literally, like, she's ready to kill someone about our AT&T. Like, she thinks it is the worst, and she's switching to Verizon.
Okay, so I had AT&T, but when I moved into my new house, I didn't have a signal at all, and so I couldn't use like my Wi-Fi hotspot.
Okay,
and I didn't. AT&T also couldn't install my internet here for like months, so I ended up having to go with Xfinity. But anyway, I ended up switching my cell phone entirely because of not having service at my house. And so it works here, but like there's like dead zones like around Peachtree City, around Atlanta, and then in California.
With Verizon now?
With Verizon, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So,
God, doesn't it feel so antiquated that
it does. I'm like, what year is it?
Yeah.
And then on top of that, my kids were in Yellowstone. And so I'm trying to like talk to them. They don't have service. Like,
wow.
We had like short little 2-minute conversations about once a day, and we couldn't FaceTime or anything like that. So it was that part I felt like I traveled back in time.
Yeah, no, I get it. Like that happens with me a lot. Like I feel like first of all, I'm always chasing Wi-Fi. Like it's become like a joke that I can never find Wi-Fi.
Chasing Wi-Fi.
Literally
sounds like a movie title.
Seriously. But like at one point I had, when we're at the lake, I have to work. And I'll have really shitty Wi-Fi. So I was like losing my fucking mind. And we had done the fastest, best Wi-Fi you can possibly get. So I call the guy to come out and look at it. And he's basically like, this is what it is. Like you're getting the best there is. I'm like, if this best there is, I feel really sorry for you guys.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't even believe it that it's like 2023 and this is still what it is.
Right. It's pretty we I think we like, I don't know if it's because we live in the city, like we have better Wi-Fi, but that's happened to me when I've gone down to Florida and Panama City. My Wi-Fi there sucks. I'm going down there next week and I have to work like 3 days and I'm like dreading it.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, my Wi-Fi is just going to suck the entire time, but at least I don't have to do video calls. That's what really sucks.
I have to do video calls and I have to do images. Like my whole work is imagery. So it's like downloading images and waiting until I'm literally like pulling my hair out.
Maybe you just need to go back to dial-up. You need to get that AOL CD-ROM like they used to send in the mail.
Exactly.
Listen to that god-awful noise. Get charged by the minute.
It's terrible. It's feeding my addiction. What I realized too is it's fueling my iPhone addiction. Because it's like while I'm waiting for my laptop to download the information I need, I'm scrolling on my phone to time. And so it's like, not only is it making my ADD worse, but it's making my iPhone addiction the worst it's ever been.
It's tough to break. I'm in it. Like I even have limits on my phone, like how long I can stay on the apps. Like social media apps.
Yeah.
But it says you can ignore for today, like once you hit the limit. And I'm just like, who cares? I've been on here for 2 hours.
Ignore.
I wasn't staring at it the whole time for those 2 hours.
Oh God.
So annoying.
It's terrible. Even like we've got this thing where like if we're driving through a beautiful area, Maria cannot stomach it if I'm not looking at the view. Like she literally, like if I'm on my phone, so I have to like, I also am becoming like secretive about my addiction.
Oh my
I can't like
God.
have her watch me not looking at the
You're
mountain.
missing the pine trees.
That's
You
literally,
know?
and she'll literally be like, I can't believe you're looking at your phone right now. You're missing everything. Like, look, you just missed it.
Doesn't it make you car sick though to like look at your phone?
Yeah, it does, but it's like I can't. That's the addiction. It's just like drugs
Yeah,
make you sick, and you continue and you
that's
continue
true.
through the headache, through the nausea. I'm into the addiction with the hawk flying by. I mean,
Man, you missed it. You missed the
you
hawk.
missed it. You missed the
Oh
hawk.
my God.
Anyway, well, what are we talking about today? I know we have 2 hot topics.
We have 2 hot topics. The first topic that I wanted to get into was a little bit about this childhood, the Easter egg thing.
Yeah.
Because I had a couple new ones again this week. The first was sparked by a documentary that's on Netflix right now about the American Gladiators.
Oh, yeah.
Which I can't believe you haven't heard of the American Gladiators.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Like, did you? I mean, my parents parked me in front of the TV a lot when I was a kid, though. So
I'm sure mine did too, but that just wasn't on my radar.
it was like late 80s, early 90s, and it was like kind of like, what do they compare it to? Like WWE wrestling or WCW, whatever it was.
But were your
like,
parents like my parents would never have had that on. How did you find it?
I don't know. Well, we had a TV in our basement.
Okay.
So I'm sure I was watching it on the basement TV.
Okay.
So they didn't know what I was watching, but it's like these roided up dudes and women, like they're all like stacked and they're like competing against like regular people, although the regular people were also like massively muscular and stuff. But they're like, it's like this real hard competition where they're like, pushing each other down, like tackling each other, like all this stuff. But the women on there, it wasn't until I was watching this documentary that I was like, I remember these women, like Zap and Laser, like they have Blaze.
But are the women would be like, okay, I'm going to duel. I'm a normal American person, and I'm going to duel with this gladiator.
With Blaze.
And
yeah,
if I
the gladiator.
Blaze, then I'm just like a badass.
Then you win. Yeah.
Does anyone ever win?
People would win, but it was pretty rare. Like it was like these people were legit. And there was like this one thing where like they had to like run through this like obstacle course, like behind these like pillars and stuff, while one of the gladiators literally shot tennis balls at them, or like this big like gun, like machine gun thing.
Are they laughing? Like it sounds like white.
No, it's totally serious. It's totally serious.
But what if the real gladiators on the show get hurt? Talk to me about the liability.
They would get hurt. Oh, that's the thing about the documentary. There was no liability. They literally didn't even think about the fact that like maybe the gladiators should be wearing protective padding and like not being tackled on concrete. Like they were getting
especially
like,
because I'm just thinking like what it would cost to insure a show like that, because
there was no insurance.
There's no insurance. It was just talent though. If Blaze breaks her arm, what happens?
That's just something that happens. She's got to figure it out,
And then she's out for a little while, and
it was a lot of people that wanted to be like actors, or they were like bodybuilders and stuff, and so like they, how it is when you're starting out, they wanted to be on a TV show.
Okay, so bottom line is what you're telling me is you were hot for these women.
I mean, yeah, looking at it now, I'm like, okay, I was into this. I remember these women. But it's like one of those things where I just totally had forgotten about the show entirely until I saw this pop up on Netflix. Now, the other thing that popped up recently was I'm always looking for like family friendly movies for my kids, like stuff that we can watch together and it's not gonna be like awkward to watch.
Yeah.
And I came across The Journey of Natty Gann.
Yeah, I love that one.
And this movie, like it takes place in like the Depression era, and this girl is being raised by her like widowed father, and he has to like leave really quickly, like, and leave her behind. Like he has to leave for work, and she's literally described as a tomboy, and she's got to like navigate her way back across the country to get to him. And I remember that movie and being like, man, that Natty
That's something about that Natty
something about
Gann.
her. But also, like, I'm reading this description and I'm like, all right, she's described as the tomboy, right? And that's what I used to think of myself as. I'm like, okay, like this is cool because I'm a tomboy too, you know?
Yeah. Pseudo gay.
And yeah, but like no one ever links that with being gay. Kind of
No.
like when they do for like little boys when they're acting feminine or like, you know, a little sassy or whatever. It's like immediately the thought is like,
Femboy, gay.
yeah, he's probably
Yeah.
gay. But
You're
like,
right. I wonder though, to your point, like how many of those girls, even now, like when I think about like Reed's class, there are some girls in there that like are tomboys. They play with them, they beat the boys in running. Like Reed will be so intrigued by these girls that are like beating him at stuff. Are they going to turn out to be lesbians? We don't know, but I'm saying,
right.
is there a higher probability? Because I will say, like the femboys that were femboys in second grade are gay teenagers now versus like, I wonder if the girl is the same way. I was a tomboy, you were a tomboy, we turned out to be lesbians.
Yeah. I wonder if it's kind of more of like a mix because it's like, you know, there's that label of like lesbian softball players, lesbian basketball players, all that stuff. But it's like not every woman in the WNBA is gay.
Not everyone.
You know,
come on. There's
but a lot of
them
them are.
exactly. I could say we can watch the from our backyard. We can see this is so bad. I'm going to catch so much shit for this, but we can see the Agnes Scott. You might have to edit this out.
Do you have a telescope in your bedroom?
We have a telescope in our bedroom. No, but we can see from our bedroom the Agnes Scott indicator softball practice.
And you guys are just up there with popcorn and
no, but we're just like they all seemingly are gay.
I mean, high probability.
Not, we don't think, I mean, we love it. Obviously, we're gay, but
I mean, that does sound like fun though to sit there and watch practice and stuff.
I know. Well, and they play this really like hype music, like they have walkout songs and stuff. So it's like the kids will be outside.
Can you see the games too? Like not just the practice?
Yeah, I'm sure we do sometimes, but it doesn't, yeah, probably. And I don't even know it. The park is behind our backyard.
Yeah.
Like, anyway.
I didn't realize you were that close to Agnes Scott. That's interesting.
Yeah, we're really close to Agnes Scott.
It's a beautiful campus.
It is a beautiful campus. It's my running route.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Lucky you. That's cool.
Yeah. But I have this thing where I'm terrified of running into my catalyst, and she also lives on that right there. And so I'm literally like always ducking in and out.
Man. Do you even know if she still lives in Atlanta?
No, but it's just like I have like PTSD.
Yeah. I mean,
anywhere, like if Maria and I go somewhere high profile over there, I'm always like, what if? And Maria's like, why are you so worried about it? I'm like, because I guarantee she will 100% say something to me.
It's the fear of the unknown.
The fear of the unknown.
You know, it's like, what could happen? Like, and you know something likely would, like you just said. So
yeah, I just don't want to be embarrassed. Like I just want to live in my little town and eat lunch with my kids and like not have I just don't want to have to deal with
the past pop up.
Yeah, exactly. So American Gladiator, Journey of Natty Gann, you wanted her.
There was another movie too that I thought of, and you might remember this one. I'm not sure because it's an Australian movie, but it's called The BMX Bandits. Okay. And it had Nicole Kidman in it, like as a teenager. And she's like this cool, like BMX rider. Like we're seeing like a sporty theme here. I see what's
happening. Yeah. No, I don't know that one.
No, this one's really obscure. No. I'm honestly looking at it and I'm like, how was I watching some Australian random BMX movie? Like,
as a kid, I know what movies I loved and I'll talk about that. But to this day, one of my favorite movies of all time, and it was even my favorite movie when it came out, I was much younger, is Blue Crush.
Oh, yes. That is, yes.
Highly gay. I'm going to call it gay
100.
suggestive. Gay suggestive.
Yes, it is very much.
But it's still
And
my favorite movie.
oof,
Like I
yeah.
loved it back then, and I
I
love
can't
it.
even tell you what that movie's about. Like, I know I've watched it, but
Oh
I
my
don't
God,
remember the
it's
plot.
so good on every level. I fucking love that movie. It's the only movie that I can watch over and over again, and I enjoy it every single time. Blue Crush.
Blue
For
Crush,
anyone
that
who
is a good
hasn't
one.
seen it, watch the original.
The original,
The
yes.
original Blue Crush with Rodriguez. Oh,
Oh,
good.
who's the woman in that? I'm looking it up right now.
Michelle Rodriguez.
Yeah, and
And
Kate Bosworth.
yes, Kate Bosworth.
Yeah.
It
Whew,
was
yeah, that's a
fantastic,
good movie.
fantastic. But when I was little, younger, I remember loving Olivia Newton-John. Like I was really
Oh,
into her. So I loved all her from Xanadu in the really early days
mm-hmm.
to Grease to all of hers. And then I loved Demi Moore. So like About Last Night, I loved anything she was in. Indecent Proposal. Those were all movies that I
Yeah.
wanted. Like I had crushes on these women. Cocktail, though, the girl from Cocktail, I was really into too. What is her?
Oh, okay. So Olivia Newton-John, which version did you like better in Grease? Like the preppy
Oh,
Sandra
the
D
hot
version or the
ending.
one at the end?
Hot ending.
Yes.
Confidence, smashed the cigarette with her heel, Olivia.
Yes. All right.
Um,
Cocktail, the woman you're thinking of, I think is Elizabeth Shue.
Elizabeth Shue and Adventures in Babysitting.
Oh, yeah.
So good. And I had a massive crush on her. I love that movie. But Cocktail, I was just like, oh my God. I
You
even have
weren't paying
a
attention to Tom
soundtrack.
Cruise slinging
Didn't give a
drinks.
shit about him. Um, yeah, like I had the soundtrack. I remember it like on cassette.
Yes.
I was so into all of it. So that
God.
was those were kind of some of mine. But About Last Night, I remember that with Demi Moore and like thinking they were listening to the headphones in that movie and thinking, oh my God, he is so lucky to be with her, Rob Lowe. Um,
See, these were like really clear thoughts because I don't think I really made the connection. I think
oh,
in
I
my
like
eyes, I was like, I want to be like that woman, you
no,
know?
I
Um,
want to be with that woman.
I'm pretty sure the American Gladiators inspired me to like buy this like ab machine thing. I was maybe 12. Like,
Did you ever do like the cost? Like, were you into like, I remember having like the underwear bra combo that would be like superhero. Like, I forget what it was called.
Shira?
I don't remember. It was a brand where like your underwear and your bra would be like
Oh,
Wonder Woman or like
no, I don't remember that.
Okay.
That sounds amazing though.
Well, yeah. So no, it's so true. Like when you look back, there are like my girly friends would not have been thinking these thoughts.
No, not at all.
They were into the volleyball scene in Top Gun.
Uh-huh. Yeah. See, I never like
Felt nothing.
I was like, what's the big deal? See, same thing like when Magic Mike came out, and all these women are like, oh, Magic Mike. I'm like, but why?
Yeah, but why again?
Why?
Yeah, it's so true.
And that was long before I realized that I was gay.
Yeah.
So it's so funny.
It is funny. This morning when the boys all had friends over, and one of Reed's friends he says he's gay. I don't know whether he really is, but
Because right now, is it just like fashionable to say that you're
it's
gay?
kind
Is
of
that,
fashionable, I guess.
or
But
it's
it was
like,
so fun how like Reed doesn't even miss a beat. Like I did this dumb heteronormative where I was saying to the boys there were cute girls somewhere. And I was just like, oh my God, cute girls at the lake, guys. And then Reed was like, or cute boys. Like for his friend. And I thought, oh my God, like this generation is just so
yeah, I
awesome.
mean, that is that hetero norm, you know,
Yeah,
like
why
that's
do
probably I would
even
have said
do
the
it?
same thing. Like
Yeah, you can't help it. I do it.
it's hard to undo. I think, you know, it just bleeds over into like all aspects of life.
It's true. It's really true. Like I work hard at it, but I can't help it. It just comes up in my daily life. But I think the other thing that we wanted to touch on today is talking about how I noticed that we've gotten a lot of DMs lately, especially last week when I was looking through the DMs. There's a lot in there on people going into the dating world and feeling rejection, in that it's like they don't even know these people yet, but they're starting to get to know them, whether it be with Instagram or with dating apps. You'll do a lot of communication before you ever meet someone, and they'll be feeling so excited about something, and then it just like goes away. It just like vanishes, or maybe it just like starts to slow down, where it's like, I'm feeling this person and I'm excited about this person and we're communicating, and then all of a sudden you feel it kind of drop off. They might still say hey, but you can tell they're not that into you anymore. And how, like, at this stage when you're coming out, you're already a little fragile, and how that sucks. It's like a shitty feeling, even though you don't know them.
It's like you have to walk in there with armor on, like
Yeah.
doing these apps, because it is, I think it's just kind of like, it feels like you've done all this stuff to come out and figure your brain out what's going on. And then it's kind of like knocking you down when you're already
Yeah,
down,
you're already down. You're already like trying to get up.
like this is already hard.
Yeah.
And now it's harder.
Right.
And I think the other part is it starts to make you like dive into like your physical appearance and like question how you look and all this stuff. And it's like, I can assure you that even like the hottest people on the apps are experiencing this kind of stuff, like hurt feelings.
You know them, and they are.
Yeah. So we had the neuro queer coach on. I think you missed that episode, Allie, but if I remember correctly, she did talk about this, or she has maybe on TikTok, about rejection sensitivity, and how some people, and like especially people that have ADHD also, have this sensitivity to rejection, where you experience emotional pain because of that rejection. And this can apply to like relationships, a job you don't get, a promotion, like any of that stuff. And
what would she say though would be a normal reaction to rejection? I mean, it's never good.
Ooh, that's a good question. Yeah, I guess everybody feels a little shitty about rejection, but it's kind of like one of those things that you have to learn to adapt with. And that's probably another thing, is like, when you've been out of the game for so long, maybe you've been married for 15 years and it's been a minute since you felt rejection.
Yeah.
Like, I think it stings a little bit more.
For sure. And it's like, oftentimes it has nothing at all to do with you. It has more to do with that, likely if someone's on the apps, they're probably talking to more than just you. And they also have their real life going on. If they're like most people our age, there's a lot happening there. So it's like they haven't yet put stock into you enough that they care whether they miss a day texting with you or communicating with you somehow on the app. Like, I think it likely has nothing to do with you. Like, if they started off chatting with you, obviously they thought you were attractive enough to put that time in.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. Like, I think I wish I could just tell people, don't take it personally, but it's so easy to say that, because it's like, even I think about my daughter, who literally is one of the most confident people I know. And she had her heart broken at the end of school before she left NYU coming home. And it's like, this guy really liked her. And then he just didn't. He just said, it's not. He even said, and she said in the sweetest, most honest way, you like me more than I like you. Like, that's just,
wow.
he said it like nice. She's like, I couldn't fault him. But I thought how, like, she took it personally. Like, she's like, the woman I see him with now is like this gorgeous, what she called, like, what did she call her? Ethereal fairy.
What?
Like, she's in a band and she's like kick ass, and she's like, she's better than me. I'm like, she's not though. Like, that's not the way it works. It's like, it felt like such a rejection to how she looks. And it's like, why do we immediately take it on
as like better than? It's like, it's not better than, it's just different qualities.
A different thing that maybe he's into.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think that there's so much that plays in, especially at our age. It's like, you have children. You're into this, and this. Here's your job. Like there's so many things about you, Melisa, that I may not be rejecting your looks. I might be rejecting that I like this other person's, book reading better. There's more in common with that.
They've read more books than I have.
They've read more books. You're a moron.
I mean, I just listen to
know?
crime podcasts.
Exactly. Same.
But
yeah, it's like, how do you get someone to see that that's true?
well, one thing that I'm kind of thinking of right now, like as you're saying this, is your daughter experiencing this rejection and feeling that way about a boy. A lot of us never felt that way. Like when I was dating guys, I think I felt like kind of rejected by like one guy that
I know, because you didn't give a shit.
because I didn't care.
No.
And maybe that's the same thing for a lot of these people, is like when they were dating men, they didn't have any skin in the game. They didn't really care that much. And now you care.
Yeah.
And so feeling that rejection hurts a lot more.
Totally.
But I will say one thing that I heard recently I think could be helpful. And I was listening to a podcast. Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
You were reading a book.
I was reading a book, and it was written by Julia Louis-Dreyfus on her new podcast. The podcast
Renowned author.
Renowned author. The podcast is called Wiser Than Me, where she kind of interviews women that are, a little older and more seasoned and stuff like that, and they share their wisdom. And she was interviewing Carol Burnett. She was talking about when she first started out, how she didn't get a part or something that she had auditioned for. And someone told her, like, it's just not your turn. Like, it's that person that got the part. It's their turn in life to have that. And I feel like that's like a good mindset to have in this. Like,
really
it's not your turn yet to have that person in your life, to meet someone, or even just to have that date. Like it's not time for it to happen. And when it all does happen, it makes a lot more sense.
And I think that's great advice. And you're learning from each of these scenarios. Like I used my daughter Tatum. It's like what she learned in that relationship was pretty big. I mean, there were a lot of things about, the way that like he lived in Brooklyn, and like she would take the train from Manhattan to Brooklyn to see him. And it used to kind of bother me that like, how come he's not coming into Manhattan more? And I think she was in it so deep that she didn't start to realize that, God, I'm giving so much of myself and my time for this boy. Like that was one of her takeaways, was like, now that I'm on the other side, I can't believe how much like I did all the heavy lifting to like be with him. Mm-hmm. And so she'll take that away to her next relationship, where I'm sure she'll think, I don't want to do that again. Like doesn't feel good to me.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, like you learn little things. I certainly did. And
she learned how to navigate the subway system.
She did learn how to navigate the subway massively. That was another gift.
Not easy.
No, she's a badass on the subway. There's zero issue with her getting around now.
Man.
So that was a takeaway.
Yeah. I mean, I think it is as crushing as like these things can be. You got to like learn the lessons from them. And, when I was first getting out there and had a lot of catfish on that app, which I've heard is a pretty common experience, but still people do have success on there. But I was learning along the way, like as I was being catfished, I'm like, all right, note to self, like,
be careful.
Pictures look too good to be true. It's probably fake.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So
but I think,
if they get mad when you ask to like confirm if they're real or not, that's not
they're not real. Exactly. But I do think that there's some, we all feel that way. I feel that way if someone rejects me or like something, of course, like that's normal to feel that way. But I think you have to look at it as it's not really a rejection of you. They don't even know you.
Yeah, they don't know you.
They don't know you.
The little highlight reel that you put up there that really is difficult to truly know someone right off the bat anyway.
Yeah.
So don't take it personally.
And everybody's feeling it. Like I have to say, like when I was scrolling through to look at the other question we had, there were so many about that it just like hit me that, God, I mean, it's unbelievable how many people, it's like, I wish I could connect you guys as friends because everybody's feeling it.
Yeah.
Like just this feeling of like, oh, I met someone on the app or text or whatever you do. We're messaging back and forth. I felt like it was going so great. And then all of a sudden it's just not. And so,
Yeah.
for all you know, they got back together with their girl.
Right, exactly. And that's just it. I think a lot of us too feel like we have to share every little aspect of our story right out the gate. Like, oh, I'm divorced and I'm newly out, blah, blah, blah. And like, then meanwhile, the person on the other side isn't sharing that they just got out of a relationship like a week ago and they still live together and she's not quite sure if she's going back or not, and then
yeah.
You don't get that part of their story.
Right.
Because they're not being honest and then they're gone because they got back together with their ex.
Yeah. And then the ex is like highly monitoring probably what's happening.
The ex found the app on the phone.
Yeah, exactly.
Deleted.
So you never freaking know.
Yeah.
Or they met, they had their turn came and they met the person they want to date for a while.
But it's probably better just to say, you know what, like I didn't get rejected. Their ex they got back together with their ex and they had to delete the app.
Yeah,
like,
they deleted
that
the
person
app.
sucked anyways.
Yeah, exactly. It's not about me. And it really isn't though about you. Like that is facts. So I just think that everybody could use that message because it's tough out there.
It's tough, man.
In the
I don't want to go. I don't want to do it again.
No, I mean, I've never heard someone say they love it, but
Marina said she loved it.
She loved dating on the apps.
Yes.
But everybody who does it meets people.
But the thing is, she was only on there for like a couple months, maybe. And she was like fresh meat. And we live in a big city where there was like a lot of options, and she never
like talk about that. Well, what did she love about it? Just the plethora.
I think she was enjoying like the attention and like getting to talking to new people, and she was in a hard spot. So I think she was just trying to like she was feeling like good about herself with it.
Yeah. What's the difference?
Excited to like meet people,
Yeah.
And I don't think she was really like, I don't think she was necessarily on there like looking for her next love connection. She was looking just to kind of date and have fun with it. Like, she said our entire relationship, if she didn't think that she was going to meet like the situation that we have like that quickly, She
thought she would just date around.
Yeah. A surprise.
I know.
Well, it's my turn.
Maybe that's the key then. Like, you don't look at it as you're out there, but then you also have people like, I also see it as like, if you want to meet someone and your goal is that that you're looking for love, then it's like, you hate to be so casual that you miss out on the love. So how do you balance that?
But I feel like if it's meant to be, it'll be there, like you can still be casual and cool, but when you start talking to someone and like they match your energy and like they want to meet up quickly and you have a good first date, a good second date, like it's just kind of like it's it.
It's kind of like what's meant for you won't pass you by.
Right.
So it's like what's meant for you won't pass you by.
Mm-hmm.
You have to just believe that
exactly.
And keep putting yourself out there in a fun way, building that community because friends have friends have friends.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think that you little by little end up in a really good spot.
Mm-hmm.
Build your confidence, which is the hottest thing anyway.
Very true.
And
I had a few people come up to me last night at Second Friday saying how great that event is for meeting people and like they listen to the podcast and stuff. And looking around there, when I tell you that this is just like all ages event, it is so crazy to me. Like, the variety of people.
Give me oldest to youngest and then tell me how many in each.
Well, it's 21 and over that to get in anyway.
But talk to me, how many people there are 35 to 55? What percentage?
I would say probably 35 to 55. Probably, I want to say half, but maybe 45%, but close to half.
Okay, that's
maybe
good.
Yeah. It's not a bunch of like, maybe even more than that, if I really have to sit here and think about it, like I would say it's more than half or 30 plus.
Okay.
Because I feel like the younger crowd is going to like my sister's room,
Yeah.
the lesbian bar in Atlanta. Like,
And
I
the
mean,
younger probably don't want to be there with the.
yeah. And I think there's another queer party that happens once a month too. And that I think attracts more of a younger crowd. I'm blanking on the name right now, but let's see if I can find it.
Okay, so this one though, you think has the most for the,
The older crowd, yeah.
Yeah, that's
I
cool.
think this one's called Gay TL, like GAYTL, and they I'm pretty sure they do their event in Edgewood, the Edgewood neighborhood,
Okay,
once a month. So, but I think it's like a younger crowd. So
Okay.
if you're a younger listener and you're looking for younger people, that's your spot.
But Second Friday has younger too.
Yeah. And a ton of people.
Right. Oh, it's really cool.
So,
all right, my friend. Well, I'm going to let you get back to your writing.
yay.
Yeah, really excited about it.
I am. I'm stoked.
A friend of ours wrote a book, and it got like a lot of really good. It's not published yet, but she gave it to us to like read. Her husband actually gave it to us. She did not want to, but I printed it, and it's I think more YW or YA. I'm sorry, YA read. But I printed it, and I'm so excited to read it. It made me think of you with your writing, but we're going to read it. Oh,
that's cool.
To the kids.
Yeah, maybe I'll send you my screenplay.
Yeah, send it.
It's not very long, so it doesn't take long to read. So
yeah, I'm all about it.
Awesome.
I'll give you good critiques.
Please do.
All right, my friends.
All right, we'll talk soon.
Yep, sounds good. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Want to support the Lesbian Chronicles podcast? Rate us and write a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify.
We love listener feedback. If you'd like to share your story, email us at melissaandallie@gmail.com. That's Melissa, MELISA, and Allie, ALLI, @gmail.com. Or follow us on Instagram at Lesbian Chronicles.